Okay, this will be an interesting one. Let's play it through at race speed and then we'll break it down. Alright, so as you can see how that ended, it didn't really end well for either driver, but the lead car in this case, I think, took the short end of the stick there, but let's see what would happen under the responsibility award system. So here we're going down the straight, entering this 90-degree right-hand corner. Both cars are on the racing line, and there's quite a large gap between both cars. Now, the lead car he gets to choose any line he wants. He happens to choose to take a wide arc through this corner, and the trailing car, he maybe senses an opening here. Who knows? I can't read the driver's mind here watching this, but as far as the responsibility award system goes, the lead car gets to pick any line he wants through this corner. He's not being challenged for position. So at this point, what the trailing car is doing is sort of irrelevant, but let's see how this unfolds. So the trailing car is definitely gaining time on the lead car. He's taken pretty much an optimal path through this corner. That's why he's closing in so rapidly. But under this responsibility award system, the racing line is a neutral zone when the trailing car gains position on the lead car. So at this point, on corner exit, the lead car, or the trailing car, still does not have position on the lead car. So the trailing car is probably out of sight of the mirrors of the lead car. So the lead car, in this case, may have no awareness of where the trailing car is right now. Now, as we continue forward, just notice how the trailing car is making this passing attempt in a textbook manner. So he has entered this corner. Right here he's coming in on the racing line. Here he is on the racing line. He cuts low. He gets as far to the inside of this corner as he can without going off track. He's holding his line through this corner. But it's not until corner exit here that he, almost out of this corner, that he gets position on the lead car. But still, notice at this point, all four of his tires are on the right side of the racing line. Now, this becomes a question of at what point does the lead car become aware that the trailing car has position. So, if we look at this, at what point exactly does the trailing car gain position? Really hard to tell precisely. Looking at this, the computer should know this precisely. And it does. The computer already is able to tell the lead car inside. Now, it's really, in this case, what length of time passes between when the trailing car gets position, and position being when the nose of the trailing car reaches the rear axle of the lead car, and the lead car getting notification that there's a car inside. Now, if we assume in this case that the lead car was notified, is aware that there's a car inside, then at that point the racing line becomes a neutral zone. And in this case, the trailing car is keeping all four of his tires on the right side of the racing line. So the trailing car in this case has done absolutely everything he can to make this a clean pass. The only snafu for him would be if, really he was sticking his nose in there and did not afford the lead car enough reaction time to react to his passing attempt. But, in reality, I think this, it's worth it as the trailing car to risk getting some incident points here to make this pass, right? He's just doing everything he absolutely can. So as we look at the contact, so the trailing car is still all four tires on the right side of the racing line. And this is really where the contact happens here. And the trailing car, it has position. The nose of his car has reached the rear axle of the lead car, so he has position. So this really could have gone either way. It's really hard to tell just looking at this. It's really a matter of, did the computer system alert the lead car that there was a car inside? And if the lead car was aware that there was a car inside, did he have time to react? So I think the computer system doesn't tell you, car inside, and then you immediately at that instant point in time have to be on, react. There would have to be some period of time between you getting notified of a car inside and your ability to react. So here we're talking inches. So this could have gone either way. Only really the computer having precise information would have been able to make an accurate call here. But you can see both drivers were really trying to avoid this incident, right? I mean, this trailing car, he was holding his line on the inside. He really did not want to make contact. Now I'm reading the driver's mind, but the reason I say that is if you look at this, there's only the slightest contact here. But the cars are going to go in opposite directions, right? The car on the inside, he's going to go in towards the walls. So that tells me that he was really steering hard to avoid that contact. And the car on the outside, well, he got hit hard enough. He might have been racing on the edge. He got hit hard enough, or his spotter really did tell him car inside, right? So he heard car inside, and then he said, oh, I better, correct and move outside here a little bit to give the trailing car some room. Now, if he were correcting to move outside and then he got a little nudge here, that might explain why his car goes sliding off the track. Really hard to say. We, just as third-person observers, we can't read the minds of the drivers, right? But in this case, the responsibility award system would say, okay, let's play it through in both scenarios. Okay, if the lead car is unaware that the trailing car has gained position, if he just doesn't know, then he's entitled to any line he wants through this corner. So here he is, he's going through. He says, I don't know that there's anyone on my inside. And then contact happens, so responsibility would be awarded to the trailing car. The other scenario is the computer system alerts the lead car that there's a car inside. The trailing car has all four of his tires on the inside of the racing line. So he's done absolutely everything he can. The lead car crosses the neutral zone and contact is made on the right hand side of the neutral zone, so responsibility would be awarded to the lead car, right? So responsibility belongs somewhere, and that's really the appropriate thing if you look at the consequence here. I mean, neither one of these drivers are going to be too terribly happy. But the trailing car gets a better deal here, doesn't he? Okay, that's how it shakes out.